Welcome to UMP's STEM Lab program. We are delighted to be part of your learning experience. Beginning 2017, MDEC has recognized UMP STEM Lab as one of its Centre for Professional Development, CPD, where training and upskilling programs are offered to the school teachers, which include courses such as computational thinking, Arduino programming, web design, game design, and database system. Back in 2019, we had also received fund from the Ministry of Education to train school teachers with Python programming and Internet of Things. In this session, we will look into web styling using CSS. Web design is important because it impacts how your audience perceive your brand. The impression you make on them can either get them to remain on your page and learn about your business or leave your page and turn to a competitor. If it is too messy, audience may be lost or distracted from the information you want them to see. As shown here, several web design patterns are available. Among web layout that are commonly used is the F pattern and the Z pattern. In this class, we will look into web styling CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages at once. Generally, a website can be divided into a number of sections, which include header, navigation bar, section, article, sidebar, and footer. How this is arranged is up to the creativity of the designer. There are three ways how one can incorporate CSS in their HTML file. External CSS. An external CSS can be written in any text editor and must be saved with a .css extension. The external .css file should not contain any HTML text. Secondly is the internal CSS. An internal style sheet may be used if one single HTML page has a unique style. The internal style is defined inside the style element inside the head section. Third is the inline CSS. An inline style may be used to apply a unique style for a single element. To use inline styles, add the styles attribute to the relevant element. The style attribute can contain any CSS properties. Let's try out this example. You can browse to ee.ump.edu.my/hazlina #outreach. Here, same information is displayed via different styling, from the plain HTML to the other 4 styling options. Which one is more appealing to you? This will pretty much depends on one's preference. Under these learning resources, you will find the relevant files that is associated with this course. There are HTML and CSS files for basic web, font, body, image, navigation bar, image display properties, and drop-down menu. Throughout this course, we will be using the online compiler known as Wiz School, www.w3schools.com. This involves inserting HTML codes, compiling and run the simulation, and the corresponding website will be given on the right-hand plane. We will look into the CSS concept in defining the website element, which include body, image, navigation bar, HTML head, web banner, display properties, and drop-down menu. In this exercise, we will use the basic web code. Basic structure of an HTML code is HTML, head, body. Now, let's set a little taste of styling here. Remember, style codes must be inserted in between the head and the body. Style codes must consist of selector and declaration. And declaration describe the properties and value of the selectors. Now, With this code, let's observe the changes. That few lines has changed the body of the website. Next, let's have a look on how images can be styled. In this exercise, we will use the file image. Images are added in the body section. The image tag has these required attributes. The src attributes is used to define the URL of the image. The alt attribute is used as an alternate text for an image, should the image can't be displayed. The width and height attributes or the CSS width and height properties is used to define the size of the image. The float properties is used to let the image float on the left to the right. Now, let's style our image. The CSS codes for the slides is included in between the head, under the style segment. Let's observe what this had made to our website. There are two ways of listing items in HTML: unordered list, UL, and ordered list, OL. With CSS, the listing could be styled with a little taste. For example, it can set different list item markers for ordered lists and different list item markers for unordered lists, as shown here. We'll work on the list styling in our next exercise, navigation bar. In this exercise, we will use the navigation file. In this sample navigation file, there is an unordered list for different types of styles. Here, the list has been tagged to a couple of ID, such as the menu list, menu item, menu bar, and wrapper. Now, let's convert this into a navigation bar. Note here, upon a mouse click, user is navigated to different style, as code on click, restyle 01234. Okay, now, let's style the menu item, menu bar, menu list, and wrapper ID by declaring its properties as shown here. The following codes describes the styles that we want our navigation bar to look like. Paste this in your codes and run the simulation in Wiz School. Let's observe the changes. Here are the properties that we had described just now: top, bottom, right, and left. Note that between body and border there is padding, and also between border and the rest of the website there is margin. The HTML head element is a container for the following elements: title, style, meta, link, script, and base. The title element defines a title in the browser toolbar. It provides a title for the page when it is added to favorites. It displays a title for the page in search engine results. So, try to make the title as accurate and as meaningful as possible. The style element is used to define style information. The meta element is typically used to specify the character set, page description, keywords, authors of the document, and viewport setting. The metadata will not be displayed on the page, but are used by browsers. How to display content or reload page by search engines and other web services. The link element defines the relationship between the current document and external resources. The link tag is most often used to link to external style sheets. The script element is used to define client-side JavaScripts. The base element specifies the base URL or target for all relative URL in a page. The base tag must have either an href or a target attribute present, or both. Banner is a tag from HTML that allows a document to create a non-scrolling area on the screen and display arbitrary HTML markup within this area. Banner is a container tag. Some of banner format include clickable scrolling banner, scrolling text, image with text and text link, static banner with link. Another element in CSS is the display properties. As we can see here, the display properties of an image or body can be arranged either inline, inline block, or block. The differences between these three arrangements can be seen via display properties HTML file. And finally is the menu options. To achieve this, we can make use of the drop-down styling in CSS. In the menu option HTML file, you can see the differences between the first styling and also the second styling, the drop-down menu styling. In conclusion, we had gone through a couple of CSS styling formatting for body, image, navigation bar, HTML head, web banner, display properties, and drop-down menu. Using CSS, styling of the website can be made easier. We wish you all the best in your assignments. Thank you.